Hey, everybody, come see me, Drew, and Trey. This is Corey, by the way, if you're only on audio. At Zany's in Nashville, December 18th through the 20th for our annual WellRED Christmas show. It's going to be a blast. Always sells out. Grab those tickets at TreyCrowder.com, which, by the way, is where you can get tickets to see Trey literally everywhere. I'm looking at it here. It's insane. Before then, he's got Los Angeles, California, Oklahoma City, Fort Wayne, Sacramento, Spartanburg. He's everywhere. TreyCrowder.com. Grab those tickets. Also, I'm back on Substack at CoreyWritesForYou.com. I'm doing my old essays, poetry. Just put out the Drunken Roger Murtaugh Blues, which is a lot of fun, videos, all kinds of good stuff. CoreyWritesForYou.com. And thanks to everybody who subscribed in the past month and jumped me up to, like, I was in the top 10 of Substack's comedy, which is crazy because it's me and 9 other people who are absolutely amazing. So I was happy to be in that company, though I don't feel I deserve it. CoreyWritesForYou.com. Okay, context, because our recording started 5 seconds late. Me and Drew were talking about how when you get older and you have a wife, and especially a kid, mainly the kid, all of a sudden you don't have your space anymore, and you kind of just get thrown to the side. And if this room used to be your office, but it now needs to be a kid's room, like it's just gonna, and you have to accept that. And how we had always thought that men who liked man caves were stupid, but now we kind of get it. So you're all caught up. Rest of the conversation is right now. Oh, and after that, we did Is This Anything, where we all three pitched jokes to each other that we're working on, and we added tags. It was a lot of fun. Enjoy it. Share with your friends. Love y'all. Bye. Every time. And I said, yeah, well, you know more than me that when you have a wife like we have, and then you put a child into the equation, like it seems like every day you have less and less space that is actually yours. And you just have to, deal with it. And Drew said that he used to think that having a man cave was stupid, and now he understands it. And so do I.
Well, I'm in a closet right now.
Yeah. I'm also at an in-laws.
Yeah,
I used to think
y'all both were in my old guest house at the old house that we rented, and that's where my office was, and that was that kind. And one side was like my home gym, and the other side was like my office, and that was big enough and hit and everything.
Yeah,
this is the room I'm in now at the new house, which is also part like off my garage, is like a fourth the size. Like I ain't got. It's just there's like 3 feet on either side of me.
Well, Katie still took your old one over.
Yeah, when she wanted to, or when she, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it just her shit just, but Burbank, because like out here, space is at a premium too. I mean, that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I definitely feel that. Don't hit, but
Well, I used to think, what kind of child needs a man cave? Oh, you need a little room so you can put your football and watch your game. And then I'm like, you got a whole house, dude. Grow up. And then I grew up, and I was like, you don't have a house,
right? I would be like, be a man. Just do whatever just do your shit where you want to. They can adjust to it, and it's like, yeah, that's not going to work. Like that's not even fun.
In a way that don't hit
at all. Like, yeah, sure, you could do that, and then like I hate cliched terms for the most part. Like usually when you hear a guy go, well, happy wife, happy life, that guy's 2 seconds away from shooting up a building. But it is true. Like if you get everything that you want, but it puts everyone in your house at unease, it's not going to hit. Like that's not good, and you may as well just go to your closet.
Yeah, I've said this before, but I do think it's related. I didn't realize, and what's funny about this is, I didn't realize the huge advantage we had when we were kids, me and my friend group. And the reason we had that advantage was like systemic poverty and broken homes and stuff. And that's why we were so blessed. But what I mean is like we'd have whole houses completely to ourselves all the time, because like
someone was in a ditch.
They were like, Thompson's mama, who's an angel, but she literally worked 3 jobs,
right?
And was a single mom, so like she was never home because she was working all day. So if we were at Thompson's, we were alone. Bane's dad was a tugboat captain on the Mississippi River.
Every time you say it, it's like you're making it up.
I know, but it's true.
No, he wasn't. He went out to get cigarettes, and he never came back. We're too old to be continuing this fucking lie.
A tugboat.
But yeah, I knew him. He'd turn up every 6 months or whatever with a just new whore on his arm. But anyway,
stood on his face,
and an ankle monitor that the tugboat company made him wear.
But anyway,
and a new black guy that knows how to read cards.
he'd be gone forever, and his house would just be empty. And we just basically lived there on our own. So like, and then I'm saying every now and then you go over to some other dude's house who like his parents were happily married and they had like a regular household or whatever. And so like his parents just be around.
Yeah.
And it felt like oppressive or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, this don't hit. Let's just fucking, what are we even doing here? And I think that makes you even more spoiled in terms of what we're talking about and like wanting space
freedom
to yourself or to do with which as you please, or
There's
whatever.
Also something to be said, I think. I mean, look, there's some stereotypes that are true in terms of decorating and men and straight men not hitting, but it's also like the uglier, stinkier, nastier it is in here, they won't come in.
That's right. That's right.
This is not for you. It's supposed to look like a Buffalo Wild Wings had a one-night stand with a whore.
Yes, it's like dogs peeing on a brush so that other dogs smell their pee and they're like, oh, we pee on our stuff.
Yep, that's it.
We put our
we're peeing on our stuff. That's why it's nasty in here. That's why there's napkins and towels with cum on them that I wipe my face on.
Mine's a bandana. Mine's a bandana. And bro, like I didn't realize the implications of just coming on such a thin piece of material for so long. But like that bandana, because I hadn't been up there in forever, and I went the other day, and that motherfucker's standing up like that.
Bro, he's just off on a show story.
Bro, it's up there like the goddamn flag on the moon. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, no breeze.
Yeah. Sure. But so that, I had one of them as a teenage boy, I think. But nowadays, I'll just grab like a dirty towel and then that towel gets washed like immediately or whatever. And it pretty much takes care of it. I haven't had a dedicated.
Well, mine was a cycle. Mine was a cycle that I put myself in. I did it once and I was like, oh, fuck, if I take this bandana downstairs, she's going to know why I'm washing this bandana because I haven't worn this bandana. And then I was like, well, I'll just leave it up here and I'll go wash it when she's not here, but she's always there.
I can't imagine my wife knowing what I've washed. I definitely know what she knows I haven't washed.
Yeah. No, you're right.
The goddamn laundry.
Maybe there's a part of me that it's just like safe, like it's always there.
I hope this doesn't give anyone the heebie-jeebies. This is what it is. Speaking of not having space, I don't live in my bed. I don't sleep there. Roscoe started sleeping with his mama, and then eventually I was like, I gotta fucking sleep somewhere else. I'll circle back on this.
Yeah,
and we've not circled back.
It kind of hits though.
It does. But I needed that context for this part. My cum towels, I don't know what else to call them, cum rags. Right. Sorry, everybody, are just his old baby spit rags. We don't use them anymore, but they're in the room I now sleep in. That was supposed to be the room he sleeps in, but he doesn't. He sleeps in my room. I'm just in there alone, and here's a basket full of perfectly sized, soft. So I'm not going to not,
right.
And then I guess just to wrap the story up, we sent our friend a funny Christmas gift, and it was like a figurine, and we had to pack it. And I just grabbed some of them and was just like shoving them around it. And when she got it, she was like jokingly, she was like, I'm glad she like FaceTimed us. I'm glad you guys packed this with Drew's cum rags. And Andy was like, funny you say that.
What'd that smell like?
Shoo-wee.
Packing peanuts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there you go.
It was washed.
Yeah, but is it?
Right. I was just going to say that those things, those baby items, commodities, whatever, around they like the things they throw up on and poop in and various things like that. It's just like so much stank and nasty involved all the time. That like smell, that baby, that like
it don't go away.
Milk baby, milk that's been in a baby and now has come back out of the baby.
Yeah, that's the worst milk.
That's you don't want that.
No, God.
I think I know what you guys mean, but I guess because I'm in that he eats real food and actually poops, but I still have to clean it up phase. I'm like, dude, I pine for the stank milk. Now we got stank corn. And let me tell you something, way
bad.
worse.
Oh, dude, it's
Yeah. Well, I'm not
I
doing
miss milk
either.
baby
So
poop so bad.
Yeah, that makes
all
sense.
bad.
I just thought only about the milk part because it's not like I'm in the other part right now or nothing either. So, I mean, yeah, I buy that.
So if you happen to
Do
be
y'all
in the
does
milk
Andy
part right
do?
now and you're shaking your head as Trey says it's awful, don't worry, it gets worse.
Does Andy do cloth diapers?
No.
Okay,
Right on. I knew she'd come back around.
It just
and he would get her back.
It seemed like a thing, but I don't even know if those are even remote. I feel like those were at the height of their trendiness when my sons were babies, and so like we did that for a while. And Katie's not hippy dippy at all, but we did cloth diapers, and that was like a whole thing.
You know, fuck that.
Y'all aren't off really in terms of your assessment, I guess, of Andy, but like you do sometimes get it slightly wrong. And this is definitely one of those where it's like, look, do we get expensive as fuck diapers that are organic and don't have any dyes on them to not get on his skin? Yeah. Dude,
right,
fuck
she's
the
still
earth.
a Joe.
Now the baby is getting the hippie treatment, but the earth, I mean, she's not an environment, but Danny's one of those people that's like, look, until we set Exxon on fire, there's no way I'm like doing that.
Boo.
He has a hybrid, but I'm not trying to make her out to be like a V8 driving. Who cares?
I know exactly.
But like stank, she ain't gonna be dealing with that.
This is the thing that me and Andy always relate to each other on. It's our cho-ness, and we're well-meaning in so many regards. But as soon as a thing comes along that like, God, that would be better, such as regular diapers, all of a sudden we break out no ethical consumption under capitalism. And there you go. Like you do your best, but then we're still chos and we don't want to have to wash a fucking cloth diaper every time. That's insane.
I'm pretty sure that it was that was Katie's, that at that time, that was her side hustle that she had. She was making and selling those.
Yeah,
and
Drew, you remember his kid was in a commercial in Japan?
China, not Japan.
China.
Yeah, dude, I got mad about that like 2 weeks ago. Are you guys familiar with this content machine known as Subway Takes?
Yeah, the guy that has the curly hair.
Subway. You just didn't you just share a Miss Pat clip, or Corey did? One of y'all did.
I did.
From that guy with that guy. Yeah, right.
He had one. I think
so funny.
One right before that, where this woman was like, this young lady was like, parents, stop posting your kids with emojis over their face. It looks fucking creepy, and you're only doing it to seem like a good parent. Either post it on your close stories or just post your fucking kid.
Or don't, yeah.
And then I saw a bunch of parents and non-parents being like, yep, exactly. And I'm like, dude, I guess I can understand the take. Well, then just don't post your kids.
Right,
post it on close friends only or whatever, and just send texts to your family. But like people were denying the reality that you dealt with, right? And the reality of perverts. It's like China will use this for fucking ads, and or perverts will use this for things I don't even want to talk about.
How about just let people do what the fuck they want as long as it don't hurt nobody? You know?
I think her point was like it does, and like she's not wrong that like it is weird.
Sure,
to see an emoji baby especially if you line it up perfectly, it's like
It's a little uncanny.
But her bigger take was like, you're patting yourself on the back. This is like, she called it performative.
Yeah, I think most people are just scared for their kids,
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's like, well, then just don't post it. No, we fucking want to.
Right. You're living. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's like, of course we don't have to post everything, and like Instagram is vapid, and like, why do we have to share our lives with these strangers? I don't know the answer to that, but we clearly feel that we do. And some people, dude, like, I'll say this, like, Facebook, for all its terribleness, is a great way for grandparents to get to see.
Be more racist.
That for sure, because it's just who you are times 11. But like, like Amber's grandparents live out of state. They get to keep up with their family's pictures and see all that stuff because of Facebook. Like, there's people that use the tool for joy, and they want to post their family, but they're like, I don't want to put my 3-year-old's face on there. So fucking who gives a shit,
Well, it was a take I disagreed with, but it's the internet. That happens to me 97 times a day. To me, it was more like people really don't understand that this happens.
Right. Right.
Like that was the part I was like, but this is just reality, dude.
It's like there's two types of people. The people who think it's so extreme, that wrong and Drew, but it's like the people who are like literally every Democrat is coming to steal your baby and trans people, or it's the none of that at all is happening, and nobody has the take of in the middle where it's like, bro, this shit exists. What are you talking about? Like, of course it does, and you have to be careful, but like, why can't why can't we meet in the middle there?
I don't know, man. I've been paying attention to the news a lot more than I have in the last year or so, and like,
don't hit.
They are all
it's funny though.
I mean, it's crazy.
Was that Miss Pat clip you sent, the one where she was talking about how she knows that her daughter was the first person to teach her that kids are born gay because her daughter's just so gay, and she said, "My daughter came out my pussy licking her fingers."
No, this one was just about women wearing bras. I think that one was
her being big, like a big woman with a bra. She said something that was so goddamn funny in that clip too, but I can't remember what it was. But literally every clip of Miss Pat contains something that's laugh out loud hilarious.
Dude, licks her. That's so gross and obviously off-putting, and only Miss Pat can say that. Like, only anybody else is like, oh, that's a little bit. That's so goddamn funny though, dude. Like, she's unbelievable. Hey, we used to do a thing on this program where we do street jokes. You remember that? I heard one today that was really funny. I just wanted to tell y'all.
Okay.
I think we did it last week, and that's the only time. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I don't even remember doing it last week. We did it a long time ago.
What did we do last week? We had a segment last week.
Last week was is this anything? Is
this anything? Yeah, this is just a street joke.
He's talking about like a book. Yeah,
I got an is this anything? Do your street joke, and then we'll do.
Okay, cool. And the context is this was Rue McClanahan told this to Betty White on the set of Golden Girls, and it's a blooper, and it was really funny. She said, so there's a dude and a pig and a dog on a deserted island. They get and so this after a couple of days, this guy's like, God damn, this pig's starting to look pretty good to me. So he keeps trying to fuck the pig, but every time he does, the dog would growl and like jump on him. He's like, God damn. So one night the dog's asleep. So he's like, I'm gonna get after this pig, dog wakes up. This goes on and on and on. This guy's he just needs to have sex. He wants to bang this pig. Well, after a couple of days, a boat capsizes and up swims the most beautiful blonde-headed woman you've ever seen in your life. And the guy just goes, oh my God, thank God. Can you hold this fucking dog down? Isn't that great? So stupid.
I think that's I'm trying to remember if that's the same one I heard Rue McClanahan tell Betty White, and like because I'm feeling like it was, I don't know, maybe it was that one. I feel like it was. I'm wondering if she used to do that like a lot,
Probably. It's probably one of her jokes she has, but I'm so obsessed with
making Betty White giggle feels better.
Amazing.
Wow, I was about to
especially get something filthy.
Yeah.
What's your is this anything?
Okay. I got two. One short. I got to do something with this. Just thinking about a cop with that broccoli haircut has been murdering me lately. There's going to be one soon, and I just
the
imagine like respect trying to, I mean, I don't respect cops anyway, but imagine anyone trying to respect that dude. But that's just something whatever. Okay, here's my is this anything? AI is like when your dad buys something stupid, and then he has to try and convince everyone that he didn't waste his fucking money. And the government is your mom, where she knows it's fucking stupid, but they're trying to just keep the peace in the house. You know what I mean? Like in my house, it was like when we first paid way too much for satellite television, and then it wouldn't work when it was raining. But like Dad couldn't take the L because he dropped a whole mortgage payment on it. So he had to dad it up, and we all had to agree. Like, no, Dad, we can. You're right. The sound is better on the football game we can't see right now. You fucking idiot. And then Mom's the government keeping the peace. I mean, I've got nothing else. I have no examples, no other punchlines, but there's a real.
But the AI, though, in that analogy, the AI is the satellite, right? Not your dad. Like, who's the dad when it comes to AI?
Well,
like,
I want to.
People that use ChatGPT for.
I guess Altman, Elon, Thiel. The problem is, I think they're grifting us. But I've been talking to DJ about it, and he's like, I think some of them really think that they're going to usher in a new era. That's part of what makes them so dangerous.
Definitely.
So I guess Silicon Valley is dad, and Mom is the government. That's a good point, and thank you. I guess Silicon Valley is my dad trying to convince me that he didn't have a terrible fucking idea to waste all of our money. There's a thing around here where people were buying ostriches. Did you guys have that in the late 90s?
Okay. I thought you meant
my papa had some. I wrote them.
I thought you meant right now, and I was going to be like, that is wild, because I know that's not the first time that's come up, because we didn't have it in my town. Well, we had y'all remember Big Bob?
Funny, dude.
Big Bob,
Cargo pants are back.
Yeah,
retards. Back.
I thought that's what you meant.
Dude.
I thought you meant people around there right now they're like, the hot new thing is ostriches or whatever. But
Beanie Babies.
We had Big Bob, y'all. I told y'all about.
Yeah, BB. Yeah, but that was for the
that was just him though. He had some ostriches
Carlos
and stuff is his menagerie, including Carlos the monkey. But I know that you're right about that, even though I don't remember anybody in LA. What the fuck? Anybody back home doing it?
Whoa! But, grew up in LA, folks. Wow.
Yeah, but I did just rewatch Tremors 2.
Okay.
And
I've never seen 2.
It's good. After that, they go. I mean, Tremors 2 also is off the rails, but then it goes way off the rails after that. But like Tremors 2, there's a subplot with Fred Ward's character. The way they convince him to go fight more graboids, right? Yeah. Because who in God's name would agree to that after they've killed everyone or whatever in the first movie? The way they convince him to do that is that he desperately needs money because he's blown every last cent he has on ostriches.
That was the thing.
That's the setup for
that's AI.
For Tremors 2.
AI is when your uncle spent all his money on ostriches and the government is his wife who was too embarrassed for him. So she would just be like, yeah, I believe it too. And you wanted to get her out of there, but you can't. The difference is it's not your uncle. And your aunt, it's where you live. It's your parents.
It wasn't just ostriches, too. My stepmama, she went through some financial straits because she refused to give up her peacocks. And
But that was because she loved them, I assume. Or did she believe she was going to... The ostrich thing, and this is a very dad thing, was going to make us rich.
Really? So I didn't remember that part.
Ostrich, that's a he thought was gonna though, Drew, eggs like
maybe the eggs,
meat, the beef, the meat. I even called
was supposed to be the new hamburger of the 90s.
It is so much cheaper to maintain them supposedly at the scale that we maintain beef. The meat is good enough. I mean, it is. I've had it. It is good enough.
Is it like chicken or is it more like duck?
I would say neither in the ways that I've had it. They're big animals.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of fat
burgers out of them, right? That's all I've had. I think is an ostrich burger.
I have had a steak once in Australia, but yeah, when you raise them on the farm, Corey, there's a lot of fat on them birds.
Okay, yes.
So the idea was this is just too economical, environmentally friendly, et cetera, not to replace beef, especially when, as Trey was just saying, they also going to help replace chicken. So like the only problem with the business model was no one gave a fuck or wanted to eat ostrich.
Right. Cow hits too hard.
Right. So like, other than that, everything they said was true. It's just like, yeah, but no one wants it. It reminds me of that great thing where our buddy Bryson was mentioned indirectly when Patrice did his Marin way back in the day. And he was like, yeah, the most fucked up everyone's getting is an open micer. It was like, hey, man, you're the best at what you do. What if no one wants that?
Right.
Ostrich, everything they said about ostrich was true, just no one wanted it.
Yeah. That's
why people got tricked. Because like when you look at the numbers, it's like, yeah, whoever, like, what's the biggest beef company? I know Tyson does chicken. What's the beef companies?
Wow. That's a great
question.
Because everybody knows Tyson.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I don't.
They must be Chinese. That's why they're not telling us.
Hold on. I'll look it up while you're talking.
Well, whoever it is, you can understand a good old boy uncle being like, well, why in the fuck wouldn't they buy my ostriches from me? It's going to cost them 1/8 of the price. Blah, 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 blah.
JBS.
Got nothing. Is that more than like, how like
it's a conglomerate?
Got milk, right?
It's
was
like
milk, that was just big milk. I think beef is like big beef.
But why is chicken big chicken?
Right. Why ain't
That's
chicken
really
big?
the
Maybe
question. Because
Tyson just
farms
is
do have
big
a
chicken.
very specific, weird. There's like specific laws about big ag law when it comes to what you're talking about. Like the got milk people aren't considered to have an oligopoly. I don't remember why, but like we had to study it in law school when we were doing the Sherman Antitrust Act, right? So my point being is, I actually think chicken is the one that stands out here. Beef,
Right.
milk, pig.
I mean,
like
pork. Yeah.
there's like an organization and the government oversees it. Why is that not existing with chicken? Oh, I have a theory.
Dude, it's looking like, unless this thing is wrong on the internet, which I'm sure it is that Tyson also be that for beef. They just don't put their shit on it.
Well, hold on.
I bet they can't or aren't supposed to because they're part of some group like
the main reason, don't y'all think, the main reason people know that about Tyson is because they got the chicken nuggets and stuff, and like the bag, like in the frozen state, like
they're
Tyson branded chicken patties and shit like that. There's not really beef equivalent.
Bubba Burgers.
Bubba Burgers. I almost made a joke about.
By the way,
is it Bubba? Good. I doubt it's Bubba.
Yeah, they're
because
good.
Bubba Burger is the only equivalent example I could think of in the beef world.
That's a good theory, and I'm sure that's probably 80% of it. Like I think you're right.
Like because you also know the Gordon's Fisherman, right?
Right. And
but I do think
pig,
there's
Hormel
specific laws just for that only apply to ag and food, and that's part of this. And I wonder if the chicken is an exception, partially because you can do small farm chicken. It's really hard to do small farm beef. In fact, most people who do it, they just sell straight to the man, like to you. You just go there and be like, "I need a cow, dude. Cut me one up." Don't know.
Boy, it hits to get a cow. Let me tell you,
black market.
Yeah, you've done that, huh?
I do that all. I do that all. My fridge right now full of half cow that I split with somebody.
My wedding was a black market pig.
I always wanted to like split a cow with somebody or whatever because I knew
me and my brother-in-law do it
back home. And
buddy, I'll split a cow with you right now.
Me too. We'll go thirds on a cow.
Yeah, but you'll have to be fucking fres and shipped to me, won't it?
Well, they do that.
All right. Okay. Well, I thought in Salina it was like literally my buddy Corey's uncle.
Dude,
Dan.
you have to freeze it if you get a half
got
a
a
cow.
Buddy with an uncle and you ain't done it yet.
What I mean is, it was a real low rent operation. It was Corey's uncle Dan used to just like fucking split cow. I know. So my
head is like freezer. Coming in for 2 weeks.
Literally December. But
yeah, we'll get you a cow.
Yeah, let's get a cow. A third of it, you can eat a third of it in 2 weeks if you throw one good party.
Right. But the thing is, like, you're talking about beef or whatever, like, we have to freeze. Like, if me and Amber get a half cow.
I know that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, all you got to do is put it on ice. But yeah, just come on, dude, we'll get you a cow. No problem.
We'll get you a cow.
Yeah. And we can eat some of it when we're in.
Fuck it. Me and Corey will split a cow. We'll just give you some.
That's right. There you go. Dude, I love splitting a cow. Especially, I oftentimes split cows with this old boy who we got different preferences in cows, which really hits. That. It's awesome because we don't have to, like, he's not a ribeye dude. You know what I mean? So, like, I just get all that shit. I know, wow. Dude, some people, I know. Thank you. That's what I say, but not too loud because I don't want him to, like, all of a sudden have a ribeye that changes his life.
You know, just reminded me of something that's upsetting.
Some people here
related to this.
I don't know if it's like because it's the cheaper cut of beef, but like some people, even when they get a little bit of money, they still go for sirloin. They don't realize like, no, you can afford to,
Well, my mom is a filet person.
My mom is too.
Spending a lot of money because there's less fat.
Exactly. Yeah.
So recently, just briefly, I still am ribeye. I was like, fuck a filet, you know. I go big, baby. But like, I went to fucking St. Elmo's in Indianapolis, right? Which they don't open until a little outside the window, but I still went. So I didn't want to go in too hard, so I got a filet instead because it was less. But at a hidden steakhouse, I was like, dude, this is like meat cake. This is like a slice of velvet cake. It was like truly unreal. But
it's almost sorbet.
What I was gonna say. You're talking about your buddies. Oh, he likes this, the parts that don't hit, and that hits for me or whatever. You just reminded me that Katie told me about somebody that her parents like split a cow with in Waynesboro, and the other people took every bit of what their part of it was, including like the cuts of steaks and stuff, and just had it all ground up into.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's the point?
I know. I was like, yeah, it's fucking painful.
I'm not even saving money.
Don't get me
wrong. I know,
wrong.
right? It's crazy.
Don't get me wrong. Like, if you're gonna eat a hamburger and you have the choice of like
that's a Hitler hamburger.
That's a Hitler hamburger, but like,
Trey, Donnie's a great storyteller. He may have embellished. Did something really funny happen at that steakhouse?
Oh, well, this is what he means. You guys have seen this a million times, but I think he just means that on the way out, a guy stopped me, right, and was like, basically, he's like, oh, are you Trey Crowder, right? And I was like, yeah, and then just, I'm a fan, whatever, but he got very effusive with it. Like he literally said, I'm not making, I know I'm raving this is, but I swear he said something like, you and what you represent is like, it gives my fucking whatever. It's like the most important.
Here's how Danny told it. This is how Donnie told it. You are the most important person in my life.
That's pretty much what he said. That is true. And then after saying,
I don't even feel that way about you.
You're the most important thing in my life. I'm such a huge fan, whatever. And then at the end of it, so what are you doing in Indianapolis? Right. And that's the
okay. So this is the part maybe Donnie embellished. Then Donnie says that you were like, well, I'm doing a show. I think there's still tickets. And the guy was like, I can't tonight.
Oh, yeah. No, that did happen. Yes.
You're the most important person in my life. I'm out at dinner right now. The show hasn't started yet.
You.
I can't.
Yeah. So that, and then that was bookended that same night after the shows. He probably told you this part too. When we were leaving, there was a guy who had been who came. So the point of that story for everybody listening is like, this guy who says he's such a huge fan, but like, I can't get him to actually come to a show. And that's the most important part to me, obviously. And it happens to us all the time. You go to a place, you see people, oh, I love you. What the hell are you doing here? I've got a show. You want to come? Nah, I'm good. And it's like, that's very frustrating. But then later that night, while leaving the show, a guy who had been at the show goes, hey, great job, Troy. That was great. Right?
He did tell me that.
So like this dude came and don't even know my fucking, like, don't even have, obviously doesn't care that much, but was there and liked it
and enjoyed it.
Can't even get my name right. But anyway, yeah, that was raving
that
above
was me,
all,
by the way, and I don't regret it. That felt really good.
But you know what else feels good is upgrading your wallet game. Am I right,
sure
fellas? Had the same old crusty leather brick for eons now. Bought it at a Fossil in 2002 or something.
Well, that was the jam.
Yeah, but back at Opry Mills.
Now we are
I think
Fossils.
It was.
Aptly named.
Absolutely. Yes. I've had it this whole time and it was great, but it's starting to give me back problems because I'm getting older and I sit on a angle all goddamn day. Cause my wallet stay fat, boy, but it don't have to. You don't
Arby's
have to have
coupons.
You can have a slim, modern, unique wallet if you go with this episode sponsor, Ridge Wallets. You don't believe me? Look at that. There it is right there. Look how sleeker and all get out, ain't it? Look at that. Chromed up.
It looks like a knife.
Welcome to the future. That's right. The Ridge 2.0 is the most refined version yet of the Ridge wallet. They've been perfecting the wallet game for 12 years over there, and they just keep getting better. The Ridge 2.0 is 10% lighter. They've made it more modular with all the different cash straps, money clips, and they've got AirTag attachments, so you don't have to worry about losing it anymore. Well, I guess you could still lose it, but now you'll find it more easily, and that's like the worst part of losing. I think most of us would agree. They feature improved surface design with tonal logos and matching plated cash straps. It's made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. They have over 50 colors and styles to choose from. I went with the chrome, but they've got like wilder stuff if you like to be a little flamboyant, like I know the Cho often opts to be. They have
a cool one.
Now, Ridge has a industry-leading built-for-life warranty. So even if your wallet does get lost or stolen, they've still got you covered. They have RFID blocking technology, which keeps you safe from digital pickpocketers. And there's over 100,000 five-star reviews and counting, which is proof that Ridge is a gift people love to get at the holiday season. Ridge, just so you know, is not just about wallets. They also have many other cool, futuristic, modern devices over there, everyday carry essentials like key cases, suitcases, and now the game-changing power banks that they have. You see, this is their power bank. You can hook multiple devices up to this. I only have this temporarily because Katie immediately stole mine and keeps it in her purse all the time. That's how much it hits for her. And all those items feature the same sleek, durable design. So, it's time. Give the gifts that stay out of the junk drawer and find their way into everybody's morning routine, their travels, and their adventures with Ridge. For a limited time, Ridge is having their huge Black Friday sale. Head to ridge.com. That's RIDGE, ridge.com to get up to 47% off your order. This is by far the biggest discount that they've given all year. That's ridge.com for 47% off your order during the biggest sale of the year. when you make your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. So please support our show and tell them that WellRED sent you. So it's ridge.com. Tell them WellRED sent you 47% off. Yep. Ridge, make it hit.
All right. I've got a, is this anything?
I do too. You can go first.
Oh, no, you go first.
So I don't have this is just an idea. So you tell me if it's like even too weird to even try, or what if there's a different angle or what. But like people say all the time, and I generally agree with it. Like I've heard, they recently maligned Bill Burr, but I heard him say once when he was going on his screed against billionaires and stuff, as he was wont to do for so long. He said something about, our whole country's been driven to the ground or whatever because this fucking guy couldn't get laid in high school, right? He's talking about Elon Musk, right? And the idea that, incels and them being a huge problem, but just dudes that, can't get any pussy basically or any play, and then they blame the world for that, and then later end up ruining the world. And I think that there's definitely some truth to that or whatever. So like setting that up and then being like, so I believe that, but it still would be weird for me to like go to my teenage sons and be like, all right, boys, daddy says you got to get some pussy, right? And this is what, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So it'd be even weirder to go to teenage girls and say, you gotta give these kids some pussy.
My sons.
Baby.
Exactly.
Put them on the glass, bitch, because it's wild out there.
I don't know where to like go with that. I just think that that's a funny like observation, because I do like when people say that about these guys. I do agree, but it's like, but also like, but those guys suck. So I guess it's just you got to just raise a kid that doesn't suck, but you can't. But even then, it's like,
how do you teach your son how to get pussy?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm about to say, even raising a boy that doesn't suck, it's still like what? So he can get laid, because that's still weird. I don't even think about it that way.
I think if you teach them to be cool and be good people, they just will get pussy.
That's what that's what I was gonna say. Like all those,
and I just know that, but I just pretend I don't know that.
No. But like all those guys that are like, oh, the fucking, they're like, she won't fuck me because I'm a nice guy, and then they do all this crazy stuff, and it's like you can't be a nice guy if you're capable of, if this happens, then you flip the switch and all of a sudden you don't care if women get molested in a fucking alley. You're not a nice guy. But like actual nice guys who are funny and charming, I do think end up winning out. And those guys just assume those dudes are assholes. But like, I guess you don't teach your kids how to get pussy. You just teach your kid how to be a good dude.
Right.
And that it will find its way out. There's nothing funny about that.
Yeah,
but that's unfortunate, but there's nothing funny about that. Cause like, I do think the worst dudes at getting pussy I know were the dudes who like thought they had a playbook of how to get pussy.
Right.
Like they watched that dude.
The simpler way into it, I think, is that one of the biggest nightmares that I can imagine is the idea of one or both of my sons turning into like a full-blown incel.
Yeah,
right. Like no one wants that. And I don't want that. Terrifies me. But like, but that means,
right, you need your son to get pussy.
Exactly. Yes. Right. Yeah. Which is weird. So, and I just think that whole dynamic is just a funny thing. I don't know how to make that funny or where the like jokes come into that or whatever, but I just think that that's a funny.
What about a vol sale? Do those exist? They're voluntarily celibate. Like you can, because like
that's definitely a thing in this.
The incels, obviously they'd love to do it, but they don't. And like my deal when I was younger, and this really just always kind of worked for me.
Drew was a vol sale, right? I mean, like a Christian teen is a vol sale.
I was an aspiring one. It just never worked out. Like my rule
you just hit too hard.
Well, my buddies would
too smooth the pussy getting, couldn't help it. Just kept falling backwards into pussy.
That's not what I'm trying to say. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Get molested from the 5th grade on.
But it kind of did work out like that, because like my buddies, I was always more into having a good time with the boys than I would like pussy was great, but my buddies, we'd go to a party and they would all, it's like they couldn't have a good time at that party unless they got some pussy. And I would see that and I'd be like, you're not even having fun at the part. Like we're here to drink and have fun with our friends. Pussy's a thing that if it happens, it's great, but you shouldn't like spend your whole night trying to do this thing. And then if it don't work out, your party was bad. So I would just be like, hey man, if some pussy happens to fall in my lap, great, but I'm just going to be doing shots with the boys. And sure as shit, at the end of the night, me and some girls would lock eyes and boom, it happened. So like I was never But it was the girl. I think it was some of the girls that had been beat down so much that finally they were like, "This guy seems safe," because I was kind of chubby and whatever.
All those dudes who were walking around being like, "How do we get pussy?" weren't hitting for them.
That's what I'm saying.
I think I could be wrong, but I think that the secret to all this is to teach people to be good people.
Yep, be a fun
The
hang.
secret to this joke, I think, is to act out trying to explain any of that to a 13-year-old.
Yes.
Where you're like, I really need you to get laid, but if I teach you how, that will ruin in and of itself. That's the problem. Like you need to not be consumed with getting laid. But if you don't get laid, I mean, it's really just the horror. It's a microcosm, a funny version of the horror of being a father in general, which is like teaching you how to cope with this world. There is no playbook.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a paradox here of just saying to you at 13, the secret to your life not being fucked up is that you need to get some girls.
Right.
But even framing it that way, it is going to potentially turn you into one of the worst people in the world.
Right. What if the way you frame it on stage is sort of like having a Birds and the Bees Part 2? You know what I mean? Like when you're a kid, you just give them the basics, like when a mommy and daddy love each other. And so basically you're explaining the same thing to your 14-year-old kids with the same childlike language, but obviously it's evolved. You know, it's like, son, when a guy that knows Wonderwall on the guitar and a girl that wears overalls with just a bra underneath that see each other at a party, you know what I'm saying? Like not that, but like Birds and the Bees it up, but with more disgusting, I don't fucking know.
No, that sounds like, well, either that's like you both kind of said versions of the same thing, that the bit itself takes the form of kind of an act out where you are actually trying to explain this to a kid, so the form of a Birds and the Bees reboot that's focused on that. And then
so because you're trying not to be disgusting.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the try not to be disgusting part, genuinely, both in the joke and in the real world, is genuinely just like, women aren't objects. And I don't mean that like so I can say the woke thing. It's genuinely just like, it's not about getting pussy. It's about being a person in the world. And then you want to get laid. And guess what? So do other people, including women. But in terms of the joke, to me, the funny part is like how impossible this is to convey.
Yeah, right.
I'm very worried about you, son, because at your age, you're playing a lot of video games and jacking off, and you need to not do that. You need to go out. But if I get you too focused on that, on the thing you need to do, I'm fucking you.
And also, I like that you play video games and jack off because you're home safe. Like, there's that part of me too.
Well, I don't think either one of them, they're 13 and 14. I don't think they should be out fucking right now.
Of course.
I know.
But getting their dick sucked, like not fucking, but like they should be doing something.
I don't know, dude.
No, hold on now. We're friends, all right? Like we can't be like at 14.
But we can tell him that, Corey.
I know that's what we're trying to help him with. I'm saying like
we're trying to help him with a joke about how awkward this is.
Right, but your son should be getting jacked off.
I'm not trying to help Trey be a good dad because I think he's got it.
I'm just saying, I genuinely believe that at 14, you should be getting jacked off at least on top of the pants. Like, I think because you have to.
I think it's cool if you are. I don't know if you should be.
Right.
Should have to. Semantics.
If it's happening. I don't think there's anything wrong. You're not
that's true.
Going down the wrong path if you've done that.
But it is time. You know what I mean? Like, it is.
I think it's approaching time, I would argue.
Yeah.
Approaching time.
15, 16. I don't know.
Yeah.
According to the Republicans, those people, especially if they're women, are ready to fuck old men now, the 15 and 16-year-olds. So,
by the way, I'm only
put
being
that in there, Trey. Put that in your joke. Funny man.
I'm only being flippant about this because my son's not approaching that age yet, but I will be singing a different tune, I'm certain.
I almost was going to do a very macho, dumb bit about how, like, I don't know, man, I was not worried about my son getting pussy. And then I didn't say it because I was like, well, yeah, of course not.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And you're not either.
No.
The awkwardness here is like being able to interact in the world, including romantically, is kind of your job as a dad to teach him how to do that. But when it comes to this,
it's just like the worry is them becoming like essentially a monster, right? In the current version of like what a young white man who's a monster is like heavily associated with inceldom and all that. Like, you know,
Can I throw a new theory on you, not to shit on Billy Burr. I mean, he's getting plenty of it lately. It could be an inverse thing. It might be that monsters can't get laid anymore. It might not be that being an incel is turning people into monsters. It might be that women now realize they don't have to fuck monsters.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why the nice, good-looking guy has 5 girlfriends and the monster has none. Because those 5 girls would all rather fuck the same guy or whatever. It's getting gross, but get fingered behind the bleachers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It could be a reverse thing.
Back in the day, too, you could hide who you were a lot longer than you can now. You know what I mean? Like girls can check your profile and just scroll down and know if it's ever going to happen or not based on who you are as a person. Used to, you could at least be smooth acting. Now they got too many ops.
I think as far as the joke goes, it's tough because what's really, really interesting about it is that we're all thinking about the male loneliness epidemic and what's the problem with young men. And then if you have a young man, I mean, I did a bit, not about the sex stuff, but just about my own nephews. And even there, I had to think about how, what if my son becomes off? You're not allowed to kill him. Used to be allowed to just murder one, blame it on the winter. So there's like something I think universal about like, I don't want my kid to be a piece of shit.
Right.
And then there's definitely something zeitgeisty about incels are becoming pieces of shit because they hate women. But part of the reason they hate women is they think dumb things about them. Well, that's not very funny. You know what I mean? But what is funny is like you're kind of approaching it like, right. So how do I teach them how to get along with chicks? I'm already behind the ball. I already sound like the wrong guy for the fucking job.
Right.
How do I do this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a weird thing.
If you set this up and I just don't remember it, I apologize. But it is interesting that like the whole narrative on the male loneliness epidemic has flipped the narrative on what it means to be a parent anyways. Because used to like your whole thing was like, oh, I got to make sure my kid stays out of trouble and doesn't fuck girls and now it's like, oh, I got to make sure my kid's not a fucking loser. And then he goes out with girls and makes mistakes. That way he doesn't come back and kill everybody.
Now,
and
that's an interesting angle.
Yeah.
Of like my parents were like, I mean, you could even tie it into, I'm sure you don't do these jokes anymore, but it's kind of tied into like how we just were allowed to fuck off.
Yeah, right.
But then we'd have to get that warning of like, don't get no one pregnant, you know?
Right.
Now it's like, dude, go get someone pregnant.
Please. That's the only way we're going to be grandparents because we had children so late in life. We need you to.
Honestly.
Yeah, not me.
But
yeah.
Not you. To take for the audience angle on the same concept, which is my parents were so worried about us getting out of the house, fucking, breaking rules, getting someone pregnant. And now I'm realizing I'm a parent of the generation where I've got to be the opposite. I gotta have to ground this kid if you don't get his dick wet soon.
Yep. No, that is good. Like I said, that's more of a like a kind of a more stand-up-y, less inherently weird. It might be more palatable,
It's palatable. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, that angle on it. But all right, what's yours, Corey?
Okay, so this is, me, I normally don't have anything written out as you do, but I actually do have this one written out. And I know it makes sense to me. And I don't know if it's what I need is more tags or whatever. But anyways, I had this thought of like, it's us, like we grew up in school learning all this stuff about America. And it's so hard for people to like, when like the Columbus Day thing with the Italians, like you can't mention that Columbus was bad to these people because they heard nothing but him being good. And we cherish that and hold on to it. So what I've come up with is that America is like your dad. Like when you're a kid, you think he's the coolest thing. He's your hero. But the thing is, you only think that because all the stories of your dad being awesome were told to you by your dad. And he tells the same stories all the time, but you believe him because he's your dad and he's awesome. So you run around school being like, my dad can beat up your dad, until one day when you're a little older, a Vietnamese kid is like, actually your dad tried that shit once. And even though my dad was way smaller and had fewer resources, he totally kicked your dad's ass. And you're like, wait, what? And then you meet another kid and he's like, yeah, your dad stole my dad's land and built a house on it. And you're like, what the fuck? And then you start questioning everything. You're like, God damn, why did mom even put up such a fight when dad left? This is crazy. You know what I mean? But he's still your dad and you love him. I feel like there's something there in like how we approach U.S. history. But
I was about to say, so
sure.
the dad in that is just America.
America,
it's like America
because
is like
when
the
you're a
concept
kid,
of America. You grew up, you grew up doing the Pledge of Allegiance. America's awesome, whatever.
And you do it with your dad. Your dad's your hero. But then one day you see him, you see his flaws, and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like my dad's fucked up.
Corey,
and
what's this joke really about?
But does that make sense? And also, is the Vietnamese part
I definitely think it
funny?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Can I give you a thought on the Vietnamese part?
Please.
Just word economy. Until one day your dad gets beat up by Vietnam.
Right.
Just almost go meta with
I think Drew's right.
I know where you're going with this. And
I do
just
too.
Hit him right over the head with it.
I do too. Yeah, like break the. No, I didn't. Your dad gets beat by Vietnam. You're like, fucking what? Yeah. There's something there for sure. Another short one. And man, this one. All right. So this is about trans people in the Army, which I've done a joke on that before, but this one is more along the lines of like, I don't understand why people, they're like, we can't have trans people in the Army. We can't have trans people in the Army. And I don't get it because like we let men in the Army and we let women in the Army. And like, if you believe what you believe, that no matter what, they're at least one of them, right? They're at least one of those things. So why not? And they're like, well, these people are fucking crazy. And I'm like, have you met any Navy SEAL? Like they all are. To me, you would have to be insane to join the U.S. Army right now when realistically all our wars are about Israel. So like, why wouldn't you want the most insane motherfucker over there? You know what I'm saying? And then also a tag to that, I was clearly really high when I wrote this. Look, being trans is weird. Like, I don't mean that it's bad, but it is weird. And I don't think it's wrong for people to ask questions about it when a lot of them are seeing it for the first time. Because like, if you lived in a world, this is so dumb. If you lived in a world completely devoid of lamps, and then you woke up one day and there was just lamps everywhere, I don't think you'd be like, well, I guess it's lamps now. Like, you would at least want to know why. You'd at least want an explanation for it. And I think that to some people, trans people are way weirder than lamps. And to some people, they've just been to some people, and to a lot of people, they're just showing up out of nowhere. And I don't think that these people, like, obviously they shouldn't go, and you shoot them, but they should be allowed to be like, all right, what's this all about, without being crucified?
So lamps.
I don't know why lamps. I don't know why lamps.
That's I was high when I wrote this thing. The fact that it's lamps to me, but like obviously that's definitely a minefield that you're traipsing into there. But to me, the thing that I thought of,
I think he threw the mine into the field.
Yeah, right. Yes,
it's pro-trans for the record.
I have some thoughts on that, but go ahead, Trey.
For me, I'm not even saying I agree with the general conceit of that necessarily.
I don't know that I do.
But when like this whole the kids with this 6-7 shit, right?
Yeah.
Like that came.
They shouldn't be able to go to the Army
completely out of nowhere, and I'm like, I do not like. What is that? And
it upsets you a little bit.
But
understand why.
I don't think that those
exactly
kids should not have rights when they get older or whatever.
Me too.
Like, because that's something that I thought about saying before, but I didn't know even that part is like, because you brought it up, they're like they say they believe that trans people, they have a mental illness, right?
Right.
And it's just like, well, my wife has ADHD. Like, you don't think fucking she should, like, we need to put her in a camp? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, fucking.
Have you read about some of the war heroes we've had? Like, they were insane.
Like, the idea that even if you genuinely in your heart believe that it is a mental illness, it's like, so what? Fuck people whose brains don't work right, and I know a lot of these people, they're like, fuck all those people.
Yes.
They don't give a fuck. They don't like homeless people. They don't use the word neurodivergent. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So I guess it's not really that inconsistent if you're just an asshole. But yeah, it's weird to me.
I don't want to put too fine a point on this, but I think that if you get this right, this could be one of the most important jokes in the history of comedy.
I've had a couple of those.
I just say that because I'm dying to see you do this.
Well, I'm going to try it. I'll try anything.
I'm dying to see you do this in front of me. But in the spirit of this segment, I think what the point you're trying to get across, and this will work better in terms of being palatable, in my opinion. The point I think you're trying to get across is that trans people are not new or different, but they are to a lot of people.
Right.
And, reality is that trans people had to be in the closet in the past. Now they're not. That's a good thing. But for a lot of people who had never been in the bedroom, much less the closet, they're sitting in the kitchen going, what the fuck is that?
Right. It's strange.
And so we have to acknowledge that it is strange for them and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know what that has to do with the army joke.
It don't. Well, that was I don't either. It was it was just, I think what it was is I had a separate thought about trans at the same time and just wrote it underneath that because it just kind of came together.
Well, that thought really wasn't about trans people. It was about what do we do in the world now that it is normalized.
Right. Used to there was a gradual period.
Normal and normalized are two very different things.
Sure, for sure.
Fun fact related to all that, though, and this is not the same because this wasn't America or whatever, but just in keeping what we're talking about, Eddie Izzard's landmark comedy special, Dressed to Kill, which came out, I think, in 1997 or maybe 1998. Right. First of all, he's he at that time used the term to refer to himself as a transvestite, but that special includes a bit about trans people in the military.
I'm sure it does.
30 years ago. It's about the 19th, whatever, transvestite brigade with fabulous makeup and, whatever else. I don't remember what all he does, but he definitely talks about trans people in the military in a special from 30 years ago. But to your point, Drew, the people that are all freaking out about trans people now are the same people that came over to my house when I was watching the Eddie Izzard special and called me queer for fucking 2 weeks afterwards because they were like, what the fuck is this shit?
He's wearing a dress.
I mean, it's one of the greatest of all time.
It's amazing.
But
absolutely it is.
Here's the thing about that. Eddie's right in terms of he was like, oh, the most fabulous brigade of all time. When black people first were joining the military, they had their own brigades. I don't know if you care about this, but the answer to your question from their perspective, Corey, well, you got men and women. That's a very funny point. Like you allow men in and you allow women in. It doesn't matter how you feel about whether this trans woman is a woman or a man.
It's one of them.
It's one of them, and that's a binary, and they're allowed in. The question becomes what to do with it.
Right.
And that is where even the least hateful, which they're all a little bit hateful, transphobes, that's where you, like, policy-wise, and I realize you're writing a joke, you're not trying to overcome policy, but to answer your question that you asked in the joke, what's your problem? It would be, well, where do we put them?
Right, but then shouldn't it just be based on merit and skill and what they can do anyways, like it should always be?
Literally where they sleep. And I think it's worth exploring comedically because you can come up with some funny things. But
that's interesting.
In doing so, you are yet again throwing mines into a field.
I'm fine with that as long as I'm being honest, and obviously it's pro trans and I'm trying to figure something out. Like I'm in no way am I doing this isn't like a haha, let's do it. Like I want to understand, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to figure out as much as anybody is. But so
what are you trying to figure out though? Because it seems like you're trying to figure out people who are against them being in the military.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where the line is. Like I kind of want everybody to just come out and say like, "Ooh, gross, we hate them, fuck them all," but they won't. They dance around it like, "Well, actually, it's because of this." It's like, no, say what you mean.
Drew did just that point. Drew just made. I hadn't really thought of before.
I hadn't either.
Which is like, because as soon as you brought that, because I had thought that too. It's like, what's it matter? But because it feels like they just don't want them to exist at all. Right. And that's
they don't.
I know they don't, but it's like, but in terms of when they say, we don't think they should be in the military, and you're like, why? If you think that trans woman is really still a man and that's what you believe, what men are allowed in the military? Why do you give a fuck? But you're right. To them, it's like you said, literally where,
right.
When that person's in the military, they're like, well, they're going to force them to be in a different barracks or whatever than they want to be in. And then that's going to cause trouble. And like, so.
But to be fair, Trey, and then this might help your joke, Corey, this is the whole issue with the bathroom stuff.
Right.
Because by your own standards, none of us can live up to them. It's like, it's all those great videos that go viral of someone who's gone through a transition and they've taken the hormones and they have a full beard. And they're like, do you want me to go to the bathroom with your wife?
Right.
Yeah, right. According to your bill, I should. So it's funny because this is them admitting it. With the military stuff, that's them admitting that how stupid the bathroom policy is. Because they're going, well, shit, we can't put a bearded man in here, but he was born with a pussy, so we're not putting him with them. It's like, yeah, but you see how fucking stupid it is. And it's unfortunate that Izzard already did the bit, because what would be funny is you coming up as a comedian with the solution, which is the all trans brigade.
Sure. But also those same people too, where they're like, we can't have men should be with men and women should be with women. But you'll have that same person who's like, I don't want a gay guy in my shower because he'll be looking at me. And it's like, okay, we'll put him in the women's shower. And they're like, well, we can't because he's a guy. So then it gets down to the whole thing of like, you just don't want him to exist because they feel that way. They're like, you have when fucking Michael Sam came out as gay, everybody was like, well, I wouldn't want to be in a locker room with him looking at my shit all the time. And it's like, right, but that's a guy. So you're telling me he shouldn't be in the bathroom with guys because he likes guys? Like,
well, it's also like there's women in the NFL locker rooms all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
I mean,
nobody cares if Clarissa's in there.
Like, it's like part of exploring how to do the joke means to think through the logic. But when you think through the logic,
that's the problem. You game it out and you're like,
well, it's fake logic. It's right. They don't want to exist, so they're coming up with the best argument that they can against them being in the military because they just don't want them there. And the best one they have is, I don't know where they should sleep.
Okay.
And then we go, they should sleep with whatever they identify. And they go, well, I have a problem with that. So, do what you will with that as a joke.
It's funny to me, though, that like they trust these people in such high pressure situations to protect each other and protect our Constitution, but they're like, but if we let them sleep together, all sorts of things might happen. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh, this trans person might. I don't understand how you could trust someone with your life, but not trust them to sleep in a bunk above you. Is all I'm saying. Like then it gets really weird. Like what are we even doing here? You would trust this person to jump on an IED,
but they don't, though, right? They don't trust the trans people with.
No, but I'm saying,
yeah, that's true.
That's true. But no,
I could also make a, I guess, liberal point of view argument against what you're saying too, though, which is like, if I'm in the military and it was my job and someone came to me with that, regardless of trans or gay people, they were just like, we can't trust these men and women to be in the barracks together, but we can trust them with our lives. I'd be like, yeah, that's the truth. And by the way, do you want to handle the rapes that keep coming across my desk when they spike because now you put them in the same fucking room?
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine a trans person being interested in the military and being like, but I have no interest in.
I was just about to say, it's like, I'm not, I think they should be allowed to be in, but I was just about to say, I don't know why in God's name any trans person would want to be in our fucking military.
I don't know why any marginalized person would want to fight for this fucking country, but that's I
think they should be able to. I'm just saying, I don't know why they'd want to, though.
I think it should be illegal for anyone to be in the military.
Well, anyway, that's it. We got to wrap it up this week. Come see me on the road. This weekend's, well, actually, if you're watching this the day it comes out and you're in Los Angeles, come to Largo tonight, please. And then this weekend, Oklahoma City, and then Fort Wayne, Indiana, the weekend after Thanksgiving, and then wrapping up the year, as always, with these two gents at Zany's in Nashville. WellRED, home for the holidays. All those are at TreyCrowder.com, plus a bunch of other dates that are already listed for 2026. We already got shit fucking next October and stuff, so go check it out.
Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, I got the Zany's show. I've got some dates in 2026. I haven't put them up yet. I know Denver's on there, Asheville. I mean, there's a few, but I haven't put them up yet. Between now and the end of the year, Zany's is the only big thing I think I have. Oh, I am about to announce a monthly in Knoxville. If you live in Knoxville, I'm about to have a monthly show. We're working on a title right now. It's going to be kind of late night style, half interview, half stand up with some of my new Knoxville and Nashville friends. It's going to be a good time. The first one's going to be on the 28th of December at the Barrel House. So if you're in Knoxville, look out for my monthly.
Word. Hey, December 12th, I will be in Washington, D.C., with my friend Nagin Farsad doing the Muslims Are Coming sequel comedy tour. I'm not a Muslim, but they are, and they're coming. And I'll be there. And I'll be there the day before, too, because that's my birthday, and Washington's my favorite. So come see us. And also go to CoreyWritesForYou.com. That's my Substack. I just put up a new thing called The Drunk Roger Murtaugh Blues. It's fun. Thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We'd love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew. Rest in peace, Todd Snyder, by the way.
Rest in peace.